Welcome to prepODD. Prep in odd manner to get selected.
तो जय हिंद फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू prepODD। तो बेसिकली आपको पता होगा कि हमारी अभी साइंस की सीरीज चल रही है एंड स्पेशली आपकी बायोलॉजी की सीरीज चल रही है ना। तो अभी तक हमने क्या क्या पढ़ा है इसमें? अपना पढ़ा है हमने सेल्स एंड टिश्यूज एंड देन योर न्यूट्रिएंट्स, एंड टुडे वी गोना learn about plants, that is your A to Z about plants, different classification, reproduction and your transportation, respiration from A to Z of your plants we are gonna learn in this video. Okay, so it will be a game changing video and it would be a long video, so I would suggest you that you should make your notes along with the uh, along with the video. Okay, so now we will move forward with the topic, that is your plants. Okay, so first of all we will learn about the classification of plants. Okay, तो बेसिकली आपको जो प्लांट्स होते हैं ये डिफरेंट टाइप्स में क्लासिफाई होते हैं. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल द प्लांट दैट डोंट हैव differentiated plant body. Okay, and while other plant have differentiated body. Okay, so basically we can classify the plants into two parts. So the plants that don't have differentiated plant body are called your helophyta. Okay, so basically the important would be the examples. The examples are your algae, then your fungi, then your lichens. Okay, so basically these are called helophytas. Okay, so helophytas have undifferentiated body parts. Okay, they have undifferentiated body parts, like we have read earlier that they don't have differentiated plant body. Okay, and also you can take the example like chara, here pyrogera are also the part of your helophyta group. Okay, so now we will learn about the plant that have differentiated body parts. Okay, so the plant that have differentiated body parts are also divided into two parts, that is they are without specialized vascular tissues. Okay, so they don't have specialized vascular tissues, while other plants have specialized vascular tissues. Okay, so the plants that don't have specialized vascular tissues are known as bryophyta. Okay, so these are called your bryophytes or bryophyta. Okay, so you can also say them like amphibians of plant kingdom. Okay, so bryophytes are also termed as the amphibians of plant kingdom, and their examples are your mosses, that is also known as funaria, and your marchenta and your riccia. Okay, so basically you have to learn about the different examples of different type of plant names. Okay, so this is very important to learn. So I think so I am assuming that you are noting down the notes, or you are taking the notes that I am teaching you, like bryophyta. And now we will move towards the plants that have specialized vascular tissues. Okay, so the plants that have your specialized vascular tissues can also be grouped into differentiated into two parts. So the first part is the plants that don't have seeds, while the another plants have seeds. Okay, so the plants that don't have seeds can be termed as pteridophyta or pteridophytes. Okay, so basically we're gonna learn about the different examples of pteridophytes. So the examples are here Marsilia, Puns, and horsetails. Okay, so the examples are very important. Okay, so now the plants that have seeds can also classified into another different plants, like the plants having seeds. Okay, so it can be differentiated into two parts. That is, first is your that bear naked seeds. Okay, so they don't have the seeds covering around their seeds, while another bear seeds. Okay, while they have their seeds covering. Okay, so the plants that bear naked seeds are generally termed as your gymnosperms. Okay, so basically now we gonna note here the example of gymnosperms. So the examples of gymnosperms are pines, your cedrus is also known as your devdar tree. Okay, so these are the example of your gymnosperms, the plants that bear naked seeds. While the plant that bears seeds along with the seed covering can also be classified again into different plants, that your bear naked seeds. Okay, so these plants can again be classified into different plants. So first are the plants that have seeds with two cotyledons. Okay, while the other plants have seeds with one cotyledon. Okay, so these type of plants are called, the plants that have seeds with two cotyledons are called dicots, while the plants having the cotyledon of single are called your monocots. Okay, so basically the dicot plant have two cotyledon along with their vascular bundles are arranged properly. Okay, and basically these dicot plants have taproot system. Generally maximum they follow the taproot system. Okay, and also they show your reticulate venation. Okay, so taproot system, reticulate venation, your vascular bundles we will learn in next part of your slides. Okay, so first of all we have to learn about the different classification. So basically dicots plant have the taproot system along with the reticulate venation. Reticulate venation means the type of pattern on the leaf. Along with the taproot is a different type of root. Okay, and there the vascular bundles are arranged properly. And in monocots, that is your cases vice versa. You know, these type of plants has reticulate venation. So these type of plants shows your parallel venation. Okay, while these have the taproots, so these have the your adventitious root type of system. Okay, so these are the main difference between the two types of plants, that is your the dicot plant and the monocot plant. Oh sorry, I have not written here monocot. Okay, oh I have written here monocot plant. Okay, so now we gonna summarize this classification into one paper so that it would be easy for you all to learn this classification. So basically plants are classified into two parts, that is your don't have differentiated body, while have your differentiated body. So don't have differentiated body are called your thallophyta. Examples of thallophyta are your algae, chara, spirogyra, your fungi, lichens. While the differentiated body parts plant are again classified into, that is your without specialized cells, while another are with your specialized cells. The plants that are without specialized cells are called your bryophyta. The bryophyta examples are your mosses, funaria, marchenta, riccia. These are your examples of bryophyta. While the plants that are with specialized cells are again classified into the different parts, that is your don't produce seeds, while other produce your seeds. So the plants that don't produce seeds are known as your pteridophyta, and the examples we have written earlier. Okay, so again the plants that are produce seeds are again classified into different parts, that is your bare naked seeds, while other don't bear your naked seeds. They have the seed covering. So the plant that bear naked seeds are known as your gymnosperms, while these are termed as your angiosperms. Okay, and basically now angiosperms are again classified into two types. That is your two cotyledon plant and your one cotyledon plant. Two cotyledon plant are called your dicot, while one cotyledon plant are called your monocot. Okay, so basically we have seen that dicot plant have your reticulate venation. They have your taproot system. So these are the functions of your dicot type of plant, while monocot have your parallel venation along with the adventitious root system. Okay, so basically this is the classification of plant that you have to remember for your exam, and especially the main important part is your examples. The examples of Thallophyta, examples of Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, and the examples of your gymnosperms, angiosperms, monocot, dicot. Okay, so basically you have to learn these type of things. Okay, so now we're going to learn about the roots in your plants. So basically roots are of different types. First is your taproot, then is your fibrous root, then is your adventitious root. Okay, so basically taproot like you can say like a plant and it has a root. इसकी एक सिंगल रूट होती है, इसमें डिफरेंट डिफरेंट ऐसी रूट्स होती है ना, और उसमें एक मेन रूट होती है, तो इस मेन रूट को हम कहते हैं हमारी टैप रूट। जो सेकेंडरी रूट्स होती हैं इनको हम कहते हैं हमारी सेकेंडरी रूट्स। ओके, so main root is your tap root and your secondary roots. So basically tap root is found in your example of your tap root is your mustard plant, and you can say carrot plant and different veggies. Mainly the veggies are your tap root system. And you know fibrous root system are like the grass type of system, like you know it's the grass, और इसकी जो रूट्स होती है बिल्कुल झाड़ जैसी होती है ना, बहुत सारा जो पैटर्न होता है बिल्कुल एकदम मकड़ी का जाला जैसा हुआ ऐसा, तो उसको बोलते हैं फिब्रस रूट। इसका एग्जांपल होंगे हमारी ग्रास हो गया, और हमारी इसमें और भी एग्जांपल हो सकते हैं, जैसे हमारा वीट हो गया, गेहूँ, ये सब हमारे इसके एग्जांपल हो सकते हैं। ठीक है, और हमारा बनाना हो गया, ये सब हमारे फिब्रस रूट के एग्जांपल हैं। उसके बाद हमारा एडेंशियस रूट सिस्टम। अच्छा, एडेंशियस रूट सिस्टम में क्या होता है, जो हमारी रूट्स होती है वो हमारी, जैसे हमारा स्टेम है तो हमारी यहीं से ग्रो होती है, हमारा जो ऊपर स्टेम का पार्ट होता है वहीं से हमारी जो रूट्स होती है वो ग्रो होती है, उसको हम एडेंशियस रूट सिस्टम कहते हैं। ठीक है, उसके एग्जाम्पल होंगे, इसमें हमारे जो मेन होते हैं इंपॉर्टेंट वो होता है हमारे एग्जाम्पल याद करने के लिए। ठीक है, टैप रूट सिस्टम, फिब्रस रूट सिस्टम, एडेंशियस रूट सिस्टम। एडेंशियस के हमारे एग्जाम्पल होंगे जैसे हो गया हमारा बेनियन हो गया, है ना, हमारा बेनियन हो गया, हमारा मॉन्स्ट्रिया हो गया। दीज आर द टाइप ऑफ योर एडेंशियस रूट सिस्टम। तो बेसिकली इसमें हमें जो है मेन टाइप ऑफ एग्जांपल याद रखने हैं, टैप रूट सिस्टम, फिब्रस रूट सिस्टम एंड एडेंशियस रूट सिस्टम। ओके, so the part of plant where root develops is called your radicle. Okay, and again some part of plant where your stem develops is called your nodes. Okay, and the part of plant where your leaf develops is called your shoot apical meristem. Basically your leaf originate from your shoot apical meristem, your root from radicle, and your stem from your nodes. Okay, so now we're gonna read about the root cap. So what is root cap? You know, it is for protecting the tender apex of root. Okay, so root cap protects your tender apex of the root. Okay, and it is in soil. It is present in the basically soil. Okay, so there are also different type of roots like your prop roots. The prop roots are your hanging roots, है ना? Prop roots are hanging roots, like you can say the example if a banyan, and again your tilt roots, the roots that come out of lower nodes of plant, lower nodes of stem are called your stilt roots. Okay, the roots coming out of lower nodes of the stem are called your stilt roots. So these are the different type of roots. Okay, so now we gonna learn about the stem, that is your tana stem. Okay, so I've told you that the stem grows in the your internodes. Okay, or nodes, you can say. The distance between the two nodes is called internode. So basically the stem grows from your internodes. Okay, and the main function of the stem is for the transportation of your water and food to different parts of your plant. Okay, so main function of your stem is to transportation of water and food from your roots or from leaves to different parts of plant. Okay, so basically there are your underground stems also. Okay, so underground stems are present in, you can take the example of your potato. Okay, these are called your stem tuber. Okay, so in case your in your exam the term comes, what is the stem tuber? So basically these are the underground stem present in potato. We can take the example of potato. Okay, so this is basically about your stem. Then comes about your leaf, patti, है ना? Okay, so I have told you that your leaves originates from shoot apical meristem. Okay, so the place from where the leaf originates is your shoot apical meristem. Okay, so it develops, is basically develops at nodes. Okay, so now we're going to learn about the different parts of leaves. So different parts of leaf, first comes your lamina, then comes your midrib, then comes your veins. Okay, so basically this green portion of your leaf is called your lamina. Okay, the green portion or the whole base of the leaf is called lamina. Okay, so basically the midrib is your the main vein, है ना? Main vein or mid vein of a leaf is called your midrib, and the veins are the secondary veins coming out from the midrib is called veins of the leaves. Okay, so basically the pattern of the veins on leaf are termed as leaf venation. Okay, so what is the leaf venation? Leaf venation is termed as the pattern of the veins on the leaves are called your leaf venation. So basically your leaf venation is of different types. Okay, so leaf venation is your called, one is your reticulate venation and another is your parallel venation. So basically when the venation of a leaf is your like a spider web, you know, it spreads like this, so it is your reticulate venation. And when the pattern of the vein on the leaf is like parallel, so then it is your called parallel venation. It is basically found in your grass, in your corn, in your rice, in your wheat plants. And basically reticulate venation is your different flowers, है ना? So you can take the main example of reticulate venation, but parallel venation, examples of parallel venation are your grass, corn, your rice and wheat. And parallel venation basically it is found in monocotyledon plants, as we have studied earlier. And your reticulate venation is found in your dicotyledon plants. Okay, so basically this is the part about the leaf, that the different parts of the leaf and your leaf venation. Okay. Okay, so now we gonna learn about the flower. Okay, so basically flower is your reproductive organ of plant. Okay, so basically flower can be your bisexual as well as it can be your unisexual. Okay, so bisexual flower is one or bisexual plant is one that have both male and female part. Okay, and unisexual is your only male, either female. It has only one part of plant, that is your, it can be either male or only female. Okay, so basically we can take we can learn the example of different type of plants like your unisexual and bisexual. So in bisexual we can take the example of flowers and especially your China rose. The China rose are basically as both the organ that is your male and female part. So basically all the flowers are your bisexual. And in case of unisexual, it is like your so unisexual are basically your veggies you can take. So mainly veggies or your veggie type of plants can be considered as unisexual. Okay. Okay, so now there comes the term your estivation. So what is estivation? The arrangement of petals and sepals in your plant. Okay, the arrangement of petals and sepals in flower is called estivation. So basically this is a, let's consider it is a flower. Okay, so basically this upper portion of your flower is called your petals, pankhudi, and this lower portion is called your sepals. So basically the arrangement of petals along with the sepals is called your estivation. Okay, now we will learn about your androecium and your gynoecium. Okay. So basically gynoecium can be termed as your female part of plant. Okay, it is your male part or male structure of your plant. Okay, so basically these are your reproductive organs of your plant, and the male part of plant we can also say it as stamen and female part as your pistil. And stamen have different parts, that is first your anther and again is your filament, and pistil has three parts, that is your stigma, your style and your ovary. Okay, so basically this is the structure of your stamen and this is the structure of your pistil. So this is your stigma, this is your style and this is your ovary. Okay, no, this is your ovary and this is your, no, this is, yeah, it was correct, this is your ovary and this is your anther and this is your filament. Okay, so basically there are different type of reproduction in plant. First of all we gonna learn about the sexual reproduction. So basically in sexual reproduction in plants, sexual reproduction is the one in which both male and female parts are involved. Male and female parts are involved. Okay, so basically there are pollen grains, you know, pollen grains, those are present in your anther. So these pollen grains present in anther travels from anther to your stigma. Okay, that is your female part and anther is your male part. So the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma, that is your male female, from male part to female part, is termed as pollination. Okay, so basically the transfer of pollen grains is from anther to stigma. Okay, so it is termed as pollination and it is the sexual process in the plants. Okay, so basically so first pollen grains travel from that your anther, then your stigma, then your style, and then your ovary. Okay, so this is how your pollination takes place. Okay, so now your ovary turns into fruit after your pollination or your fertilization, you can say. Okay, and your ovules turn into seeds. Okay, seeds after pollination. Okay, so ovules turn into seeds and your ovary turns into your fruit. Okay, so basically this is the process of pollination. And again, the pollination are divided into your self pollination and cross pollination. If the both male and female part are of same plant, then it is called your self pollination. And cross pollination happens when male of one plant and female of other plant, male of one plant and female of other plant crosses in pollination, then it is termed as your cross pollination. Okay, and then comes your term, that is your placentation. What is a placentation? That is the your arrangement of ovules in the ovary. Arrangement of ovules inside ovary. Why ovules inside ovary? Because ovules turns into seed and ovary turns into fruit. That is your called your placentation, the arrangement of seeds into the fruit, called your placentation. Okay. Okay, now we will talk about the fruit. We have talked about the flower as well as the sexual reproduction in plant. Then we talk about the fruit. So basically fruit is your characteristic feature of flowering plant is your fruit. Okay, so basically fruit is termed as your ripened ovary. You know, when your ovary got ripened, then it turns into your fruit, as we have studied earlier. Okay, so if in case your fruit formed without fertilization, that is without pollination, you can say fertilization, then it is termed as your parthenocarpic fruit. Okay, if your fruit found without your fertilization, then it is termed as parthenocarpic fruit. So basically this is the about the fruit. And talking about the tissues, we have learned about the tissues of plants, that is your meristematic tissue, your permanent tissue. So we have studied that earlier. Now we will learn about the hormones in plants. Okay, so now basically plants consist of many hormones. So first comes your auxin hormone. So auxin hormone controls your growth of your plant, controls the growth of plant. Then comes your ethylene hormone. Ethylene hormone is responsible for the ripening of fruit in the plant. जैसे हमको पता होगा कि पपीते में हम इंजेक्शन लगाते हैं तो वो पक जाता है, तो इथाइलिन उसमें हार्मोन मिलाते हैं. ठीक है, उसके बाद है आपका गिबरलिन हार्मोन. तो गिबरलिन हार्मोन इज हेल्पफुल इन flowering, and then comes your abscisic acid, and it inhibits your growth of the plant. That is, inhibit का मतलब होता है रोकना. दैट ये प्लांट की जो ग्रोथ होती है उसमें रुकावट पैदा करता है, जो आपका होता है एबिस्किस हार्मोन. So these are the different type of hormone in your plants, and it is very very important for you all to read this type of these hormones as well as the different parts of the plant. Okay, okay, so now earlier we have read about the your unisexual and your bisexual flowers. Okay, so now the examples of your unisexual flower can be your watermelon, your papaya or your any fruit, and your bisexual is of you can take the example mainly of your flowers. You know, all the flowers are your what? Bisexual flowers. Okay. So now we will learn about your fertilization. Okay. So earlier, like we have said that pollen grains goes from your anther to stigma, and that is termed as pollination, and the ovary turns into fruit after pollination. Okay. And then we have learned about the self and cross pollination. Okay. So the pollination is also termed as your fertilization, or we can say it as a pollination. You know, pollination is your transfer of pollen grains from male to your female part. Okay. And now fertilization is your production of young ones. Okay. So production of young ones from male and female is called your fertilization. Okay. Your fertilization of plant. So basically we have learned that your stamen is your male part of the plant, and through pollination the pollen grains goes in the female part of plant, and then uh, male along with female part fuse together of the plant, then produce the zygote. Okay. Then it produces the zygote, and from zygote it turns into the embryo, and turns then from embryo it turns into seeds, and then your seed germinates, and then your mature plant takes place. You know, your uh, mature plant takes place from your parent plants. So this is the process of your fertilization of flower. You know, from stamen male parts, your pollination, through pollination the pollen grains goes to the female part of plant, then male and female fuse together to form zygote, and then from zygote it turns into the embryo, and then from embryo it turns into the seeds, and then from seeds then it turns into the then seed germinates and turns into the your mature plant. Okay. So basically this is the cycle that takes place inside your plant during fertilization. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna learn about your photosynthesis. Now we have learned about the different classification of plants, then it's about fruits, stems, leaves, and all the other things. Now we're gonna learn about your photosynthesis. So basically photosynthesis process of making food for themselves by green plants. When green plants make food for themselves, then this process is called photosynthesis in presence of sunlight. Okay. So basically your photosynthesis process takes place in the presence of sunlight. Okay. So basically the equation for photosynthesis can be 6CO2 plus 12H2O in the presence of your sunlight along with the chlorophyll converts into glucose, that is 6H12O6, and oxygen is released along with the H2O. Okay. So basically oxygen is released during your photosynthesis process. This is the very important point. Okay. So basically the photosynthesis process takes place with the help of your stomata. Okay. So basically with the help of stomata the photosynthesis take place, and basically stomata is surrounded with guard cells. You know, your stomata is surrounded with your guard cells, and these guard cells helps in the opening and closing of your stomata. Okay. So now we have learned about the photosynthesis process. Now we're gonna learn about your transpiration process. Okay, so basically transpiration is like when we respirate for ourselves, same way the plant also transpirate. Okay, so basically in transpiration there is the loss of H2O in form of water vapor. Okay, loss of water in the form of water vapor is during transpiration, and also the release of carbon dioxide gas is released during transpiration, while in photosynthesis your oxygen gas is released. Okay, so basically there is also a term known as guttation. Okay, so basically in transpiration you have learned that loss of H2O in the form of vapor, but in guttation there is a loss of H2O in form of your water droplets. Okay, so basically in guttation the loss of H2O is in the form of water droplets, while in transpiration it is in the loss in the form of your vapor. Okay, so this is the very major difference between your guttation error and your transpiration. Okay, so basically we have learned about the different processes of plants. Now we're gonna classify plants into your autotrophic, your heterotrophic, and your insectivorous plant. So basically autotrophic plant are the one that make food themselves. They make food for themselves. That is your you can take the example as bacteria and your blue green algae. And heterotrophic are the one that depend on others for their food. Okay, so basically there are the many more examples of heterotrophic, like your cuscuta, your fungi, and your you can say viscum. Okay, and then is your insectivorous plant that feed on insects. Okay, so these are your insectivorous plant, and example are yours Venus flytrap and your Drosera. Okay, so these are the example your insectivorous plant, heterotrophic plant, and autotrophic plant. These are the different type of your plant. Okay, so now we're going to learn about the nitrogen fixation. So we have learned that roots take your water from the soil for the plant, but in case your plant sometimes need your nitrogen. Okay, so the nitrogen compounds are made by the nitrogen that is present in your atmosphere by rhizobium, your rhizobium bacteria, and this rhizobium bacteria is present in your roots of the plant. So basically when rhizobium bacteria present in the roots of the plant, it takes up the nitrogen from your atmosphere, that is your atmospheric nitrogen, as well as it also takes the nitrogen from the soil or from the fertilizer, and then convert it into the nitrogenous compound that is very essential for your plant growth. Okay, so basically this rhizobium bacteria lives only in the roots of the plant. Okay, so now we have learned about the different things about the plants. So basically we're gonna summarize at the last that first of all we have learned about the classification of plants. Okay, so basically first of all the plants that have the differentiated body parts are called your thallophyta. Then that have the differentiated body parts and without specialized cells are called bryophyta. Then the plant with specialized cells but don't produce seeds are pteridophyta. Then the plants with that produce seed but that bears naked seed are called the gymnosperm. And the plant that bear naked seed that don't bear naked seed and have the vascular lining and are called the angiosperms. And the angiosperms of two cotyledons are called dicot, while of one cotyledon are called monocot. उसके बाद हमने रूट्स के बारे में पढ़ा था. रूट्स बेसिकली तीन टाइप्स की होती हैं, टैप रूट, फिब्रस और एडेंशियस रूट सिस्टम. टैप रूट के एग्जांपल हमने पढ़े थे मस्टर्ड, कैरेट, वेजीज. फिब्रस के पढ़े थे ग्रास, वीट, बनाना. एडेंशियस के पढ़े थे हमने बनियन और मॉन्स्ट्रिया. उसके बाद हमने पढ़ा था पार्ट ऑफ प्लांट वेयर रूट डेवलप इसका रेडिकल, और जहाँ पे स्टेम होती है वहाँ पे नोड, लीफ को हम टू टाइपिकल मेरिस्टम. देन यू लर्न अबाउट द डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ रूट्स. देन यू लर्न अबाउट द स्टेम्स. देन द लीफ and the parts of the leaf. Then the about the leaf venation, that is a reticulate and parallel venation. Then about the flower, that is your reproductive organ of the plant, and then unisexual and bisexual flower. Then your what is estivation. Then what is your androecium and gynoecium, that is your reproductive organ of the plant. उसके बाद हमने पढ़ा था सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन इन प्लांट, जैसे कि पोलन ग्रेन्स एंथर से मेल पे आते हैं, दैट इज योर पॉलिनेशन, ट्रांसफर ऑफ पोलन ग्रेन्स. ओके. उसके बाद हमने पढ़ा था प्लासेंटेशन क्या होता है, सेल्फ और क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन क्या होता है. उसके बाद हमने फ्रूट्स के बारे में पढ़ा था. उसके बाद पढ़ा था हमने हॉर्मोन्स आपके कौन कौन से पाए जाते हैं प्लांट्स पे. उसके बाद हमने यूनिसेक्सुअल और बाइसेक्सुअल के वन एग्जाम्पल करे थे. उसके बाद हमने फर्टिलाइजेशन पढ़ा था, एंड ऑल्सो पढ़ा था हमने फर्टिलाइजेशन और पॉलिनेशन में क्या डिफरेंस है. उसके बाद हमने फर्टिलाइजेशन की प्रोसेस पढ़ी थी. ठीक है. उसके बाद हमने पढ़ा था आपका फोटोसिंथेसिस क्या होता है. ठीक है. फोटोसिंथेसिस की हमने रिएक्शन पढ़ी थी. उसके बाद हमने पढ़ा था कि ऑक्सीजन इसमें रिलीज की जाती है. उसके बाद हमने ट्रांसपिरेशन पढ़ा था. उसके बाद हमने गटेशन पढ़ा था. उसके बाद हमने डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ प्लांट्स पढ़े थे. उसके बाद हमने पढ़ा था अपना नाइट्रोजन फिक्सेशन, कि नाइट्रोजन फिक्सेशन क्या होता है. तो नाउ बेसिकली एट लास्ट हम एक प्लांट को लें. ठीक है. एक प्लांट होता है जिसकी रूट होती है. ठीक है. यहाँ पे जब हम सॉइल में डालते हैं, पानी डालते हैं, तो उसकी जो रूट्स होती हैं, उसकी रूट्स पानी लेती हैं. पानी लेके वो स्टेम के थ्रू यहाँ पे वस्कुलर ट्यूब्स होती हैं, जिसके थ्रू वो ट्रांसपोर्ट होता है पानी. और पानी और मिनरल्स का ट्रांसपोर्ट होता है आपका जाइलम टिश्यू की वजह से. उसके बाद वो ट्रांसपोर्ट होकर आपके डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ प्लांट में जाता है, जिससे प्लांट आपका खाना बनाता है, फोटोसिंथेसिस करता है, ट्रांसपिरेशन करता है, गटेशन करता है. ये सब वो इससे करता है, आपके स्टेम के थ्रू जाता है वस्कुलर ट्यूब से होते हुए. ठीक है. और राइजोबियम बैक्टीरिया क्या करता है, आपकी जो नाइट्रोजन होती है, एटमॉस्फेरिक नाइट्रोजन, या फिर आपके जो सॉइल में नाइट्रोजन होती है, उसको नाइट्रोजनस कंपाउंड में कन्वर्ट करता है. ठीक है. सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट योर प्लांट. आपके हमने डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ प्लांट पढ़े थे, आपके अलग इसमें रिप्रोडक्शन कैसा होता है, आपका जो डिफरेंट क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ प्लांट्स हैं, ये सब हमने पढ़ा था. तो ऐसे ही आपके पास एनिमल्स का है, लेकिन एनिमल्स का थोड़ा वाइड है, थोड़ा डिटेल में, उसको हमको थोड़ा डिटेल में पढ़ना पड़ेगा. लेकिन प्लांट्स के लिए आप इतना करेंगे तो ये बहुत है, और आपको अच्छे से इसको पढ़ना है और बार बार इसे रिवाइज करना है. इसके आपको जो है अपने नोट्स बनाने हैं, और इस हिसाब से आपको इसको बार बार पढ़ते रहना है, तभी जाके आपको ये याद होगा. ओके. एट लास्ट थैंक यू सो मच कि आप इस वीडियो में इतने यहाँ तक आए. और प्लीज़ सब्सक्राइब टू prepODD, दैट इज प्रेप इन एन ऑड मैनर टू गेट सिलेक्टेड, योर ओनली गाइड फॉर योर कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स. एंड आई कैन एश्योर यू कि अगर आप ये नोट्स अच्छे से पढ़ते हैं, रिवाइज करते हैं, तो आप 100% अपना स्कोर साइंस में 50 में से आपके एटलीस्ट 45 क्वेश्चंस सही होंगे. ठीक है. तो थैंक यू एवरीवन. जय हिंद.